because we have spoke on Facebook a number of times, and his music is brilliant, and he's got a story to tell you. But what's really good is he's going to play acoustic numbers, about 3 in total. So instead of me playing a song and introducing Richard, I'm introducing him, and he's going to play a great song. So what have you got in store for us, Richard?
Well, first of all, Paul, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's exciting to be here. And, hello to everybody. First song I'm going to play is the first song off my first record. It's called Driving, which I think you played on the show before, I think. Yeah, I played it last week, and I played it on all different shows that I'm associated with. It's just brilliant music, mate. So I'm really looking forward to this. Go away. Crack on. Yeah, great. Playing in bars, singing my songs, ain't been home for way too long, been living in this van. Now I don't give a damn about being a star that can wait a while. Right now I need to see your smile, so I'm flying down this road. No time for going slow, and I'll keep driving till the midnight sky turns blue. I'll keep driving, 'cause I'm dying to get back to you. Last night was a sold-out show. Swore I saw you in the second row. All I've been dreaming of is getting lost in your love. I'm just outside of Baton Rouge, 200 miles from holding you. It's the middle of the night, just me and the highway lights. I'll keep driving till the midnight sky turns blue. I'll keep driving, 'cause I'm dying to get back to you. If I didn't have you to come home to, there's no way I could do this. There ain't nothing else that I wanna do than to get back to you in your sweet kiss. I'll keep driving, 'cause on time my sky turns blue. I'll keep driving, 'cause I'm dying to get back. I'm driving, I'll keep driving. Keep driving, I'll keep driving, 'cause I'm dying to get back to you. Thank you very much. Ah, brilliant. Thank you, Richard. No, it's really nice to have your company, and appreciate your times. It's about, is it 12 p.m. over? Is it Nashville you're at? It is, yeah. I'm actually in Boston, but I do all my recording and writing down in Nashville. So. Oh, you're in Boston. Ah, right. So it's a bit cold still, is it, up that way? Where are you located? Very near Liverpool. Oh, very cool. I've been to London and Edinburgh up in the UK, so love it. Ah, that was going to be one of my questions. Ever been to the UK? But London and Edinburgh is fantastic. I love it the way people up from over the pond call it Edinburgh. Edinburgh. But is it? I thought it was Edinburgh, right? Edinburgh. Yeah. Edinburgh. Yeah, that's how they pronounce it. Edinburgh. But I never can get it right. I love it up there. And London's okay in very small doses. Gives me headache. But Edinburgh is great. But like I said, great to have your company. Great songs, mate. And I said we'll talk a little bit about
your future projects. I know there's an EP coming out very, very shortly, but let's start at the beginning. How did it all start for you to get into music?
Oh man, I was 14. I was in high school. My friend bought a guitar, and I was over one night. And the second I was put it in my hand, I'm like, I'm learning how to do this. So I went home and begged my dad to buy me a guitar. And after a few months, he gave in, and I got one. Just started playing guitar, playing in bands, played in a lot of bands for a long time, and learned how to sing. And then got into songwriting. And then really, it's been so I was mostly in bands kind of growing up, but really it's been the last 5 years I started going down to Nashville, learning about songwriting, got into the country genre, kind of started out in rock bands. And so now I'm on my third album's coming out. My fourth one is written, and I need to record it, but I can't record because we're all in lockdown. But hopefully, get through the vaccine soon. Can't wait to go back to Nashville and get recording.
I've just had notification. I'm getting my vaccine on the 19th. So
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they're gonna shoot me from a distance in one of those dart guns, I think.
But I hear you're a country music player yourself.
Yes, about 20 years. Yeah, it's quite interesting when I see you pick a guitar up. I haven't picked my guitar up since November.
Oh wow!
That was my last gig, and I had no inspiration to do so. I mean, I love my radio. I'm doing my radio stuff. People have just asked me over the weekend about recording a new album, which I should do. I haven't done one for a long, long time, but I've got a few ideas in my head. But yeah, a lot of my colleagues seem to be naming their CDs the lockdown sessions.
Have you been to Nashville? Have you ever been?
No, it's one of those.
That's where you got to record your album.
That's one of those sins that I say, I love country music. And as I said, I'm a broadcaster in country music. I've sang for 20 years, but never been to Nashville. And so many friends I've met with doing this job. And I've toured with a number of American artists, like James House. I don't know if you know James. Became sort of really good friends with James. A couple of UK tour dates, Joni Harms, Nancy Hayes, them kind of people have come over. So they've introduced me to a lot of artists over there. And they say, next time, if you come over, you've got to hook up with us. I'm going to need a month.
Love it. You've had a couple of my friends on the show, actually, Mira Goto, and she's been on, right?
Oh, she's one of my favorites. I've just messaged her on tweets because obviously she's with child now, isn't she?
Yeah,
and
close, yeah. And then Lachlan, I think you had Lachlan on. I think I know some of those guys.
Lachlan, like you, they just said, "Oh, we're playing live." I went, "Oh," and it was a Saturday night when I recorded it. So I'm sat here, I think, in the middle of lockdown, and I'm being serenaded by the guys. I'm going, brilliant. And I just saw a photograph actually on Facebook about the guys in 2019. They were not far from me at the Liverpool front. The Liver buildings there, and but no, Mira and Lachlan, they are really, really talented people, and I think Mira's been on twice now.
Well, we thank you for doing this. You let us get our music out to people, so we're grateful.
Yeah, and I think sometimes a lot of the big, and again with the greatest, a lot of the huge superstar kind of acts, their junta or their media follows themselves, but I think a lot of my listeners, they like the people they don't get to hear quite a lot, and they don't know much of. And that's where I sort of, where I try to help, not just in America, but the UK as well. And Australia, we just started to interview artists in Australia as well, which is great. And Ireland, I'm interviewing an Irish lady tomorrow, which... I'm looking forward to as well. But it's great. And again, everybody's got a different background, a different story to tell. I mean, like with yourself, I mean, you've actually opened for Charlie Daniels as well, haven't you?
It did. That was like one of my last shows before the pandemic, and God rest his soul. That was sad, but that was a real treat. He was just such a legend. He was so nice to us. And so it was just sad to see him pass. But yeah, that was a big show.
That was up in Boston. Was it about 800 people or something like that?
Yeah, it was a big theater just up north of Boston, so it was a really cool room. It's about 800 people, and they were just so kind to us. And it's it's fun, when you get to play at that size stage. It's what you dream about. That's my dream, and I hope I get back to it one day. Hopefully, I don't know when that'll be, but just keep writing, keep recording, and hope So it's what it's about. You just keep making albums so you have more ammunition when you go out and play. That's all we're trying to do.
Well, it is. I mean, you've linked up with some great songwriters as well yourself, and like you should get in like a round where you get the guys to talk and come up with an idea or something like that. Is it Steve? I can't pronounce his surname.
Steve Teskin, yeah, he's my he's a big writer down there, and he's been my mentor for a long time. I've written like 40 songs with him, and he's just been great. But yeah, so much of it down there is co-writing, and I got into that. It's just two heads are better than one, so.
But he's wrote for like Tim McGraw, hasn't he? Kenny Chesney, people like that.
Yeah, he's had, I think, 7 #1 hits. So he needs to make one for me, though.
Exactly. Yeah. So what are you going to play for us now?
Well, I guess I'll play a song I wrote with Steve. This is a song that I wrote for my daughter, actually, and she's actually upstairs right now in school. But and I'm in the basement right now. I was trying to figure out the best place to do this, and there's a good reverb down here. But anyway, this is a song I wrote with Steve down in Nashville. It's we've always had a joke around the house that she's not allowed to grow up on me. So this is about that. This song's called "Don't You Grow Up on Me Now." Seems like yesterday we brought you home. So how'd you get to be 8 years old? You used to fall asleep on my lap. Now you won't even take a nap. I love watching you dancing in your mama's shoes. Oh, but that'll be a memory pretty soon. You'll be putting on makeup thinking about boys, and I won't even have a choice. Don't you grow up on me now. I know that you will, there's no doubt. But I'd give anything to slow this thing down. Don't you grow up on me now. I still remember your first day of school. You were scared to death, you wouldn't let us leave the room. Now when I drop you off, you turn and look back. Say, see you later, Dad. Don't you grow up on me now. I know that you will, there's no doubt. But I'd give anything to slow this thing down. Don't you grow up on me now. I'll teach you, I'll hug you, I'll raise you, I'll love you when I send you off into the world. You'll still be my little girl. Don't you grow up on me now. Know that you will, there's no doubt. But I'd give anything to slow this thing down. Don't you grow up on me now. Don't you grow up on me now.
Love it.
That's for her. Of course, she doesn't go to school right now because she's sitting in front of a laptop, but.
Yeah, a lot of friends even said that to me now at 59. I'm 60 in a few weeks, but a lot of my friends said to me, don't you grow up on me now. I'm still a kid at heart.
Yeah.
But oh, that's brilliant. I love that. And again, I think looking at your sort of bio as well, there's a lot of material in there. And one of them is a song that you like. Is it Humble and Kind, the Tim McGraw song?
Oh, yeah, that's a great song. That's
yeah.
A great song.
Well, I was fortunate to actually, I mean, I have seen Tim McGraw, but I'm fortunate to actually see Laurie McKenna, the songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
she,
from Boston.
Yeah. I thought you might know of her. And she did like a songwriters down in London that I went some years ago, and she was just, I mean, you couldn't hear a pin drop. She just got the acoustic out and singing Humble and Kind, and I loved that song as well, and I love the sentiment in it. And
her keyboard player is on the song Driving. So her
is it?
Is on my record.
Brilliant. Oh, see, it all comes around. And the applause in this little small theatre, because it's built into the O2, which is obviously the C2C that should have been going on in this month, this week or next week, sorry. But obviously it's postponed again. But everybody was like, standing ovation, and she was in tears. She just she was like, oh my God. And she was such a great artist in her own right.
Now, is there a lot of country music in the UK? Is it popular, or is it?
It's phenomenal. I think if you're into country music, it's huge. But if you're outside of the knowledge of country music, you think it isn't. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was. I think the first country to country I went to was it's 9 years ago now. And I was there on my own, and I stayed in a hotel in London, and outside waiting for a taxi to go to the O2. There was a girl just having a smoke and whatever, and she was all in the cowgirl hat, the boots and everything. I said, oh, obviously you're going to C2C. She said, yeah. She said, oh, I'm just going with my boyfriend. I'm not really into it. I don't think it's very popular. And I just said to her, you'll find out how popular it is. And then at the night, I went in the bar just to have a quick drink before bed, and she was there, and I said, now. She said, oh my God. I mean, the theatre, the old like place, about 30,000 seater.
Oh, wow.
It was packed.
Yeah.
And ever since then, and what they started to do is get bigger and bigger artists, like say Tim McGraw's, Zach Brown's, Luke Bryan's, Chris Stapleton, you name it. Vince Gill. I only went down for Vince Gill originally, which is one of my biggest stars. And it just grew and grew and grew. But then they started to say, some of the artists started to do link it in with smaller venues. So you get like a church hall that's been like renovated.
Yeah.
And you get like, say, Joe Nichols coming and he's just opened up for Garth at a multi, 1,000-seater. And then a couple of months later, he's in a bar in Manchester. And and Little Big Town played Renovated Church. And he came out and just went, oh my God, so it is huge. And let's say line dancing is very, very big over here as well. There's a lot of line dance events. But equally, knowledge for you as well. We'll touch on your English visits. But if you ever come over again, I am linked in with a lot of people who do festivals. So be good. So tell us.
I can't wait to get back on the plane and go do something.
I can't wait to get on the road. I think I've only ever drove more than 20 miles for a long time. But tell us a little bit about England then. So you came to London and Edinburgh. Then what? Was that business or was it pleasure?
Yeah, that was more for fun. So I didn't get to play over there. That was a while back, but I got to stay for a little bit. And man, it was just so different. Like coming from America, but I loved it. I can't wait to come back.
No, I love America. I've been to different parts of America, but I think I got to New York and I did some research. I thought, is there any country music in New York? And David Nail was playing. And then we found this quaint bar. I don't know if have you been to New York? You must have been to New York. Well, where Radio City is, across the way, down in the basement, there's a great bar called Johnny Utah's. and they have a booking Bronco and everything. So we sort of, and everybody's looking at us going, "You're English." I went, "Yeah, no."
That's great. It must be. I know it must be tough to. I mean, is it hard to sing country music with a British accent, or do you go with,
well, I think it lends itself to an American twang, or a Canadian twang. I mean, I don't think many people know the difference there. But even if you listen to the likes of a lot of the Australian artists as well, I've listened to a lot, and there's you can't, you can't come up with a Cockney accent even, and and humble and kind, something like Dick Van Dyke. But I think there is an American drawl, I think, when you're singing it, and I think it lends itself to it. And because the way the songs are and the phrasing, I think I mean, I started out doing Garth Brooks tribute shows. I mean, that's what I sort of.
I saw you were a Garth Brooks fan. That's awesome. I used to play Friends in Low Places every night. And, that song never failed.
Oh, we could have done a duo, couldn't we? Play it all on my roots.
Yeah, I don't think I know it anymore, but man, I love that song.
Oh, I have all the shirts, and I used to get them from Mo Better, and I had the Stetson Tyler hat, still got it, with Garth, and it's quite interesting. I had a lovely conversation with Kent Blasey, who was telling me about his writing, obviously, If Tomorrow Never Comes, and all that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like, such amazing. And I so in awe of you songwriters, I must admit. But talking about songwriting, you've wrote some new stuff as well, and you've got an EP coming out in the spring, is it?
Yeah, so that first song, Driving, was off my first record, the Drive album. The second one I played, Don't You Go Up On Me Out, was off the Skyline EP, which came out a couple years ago. This new one I'll play is off an album I have coming out in June. And then I've got a whole bunch of other songs that'll hopefully come out next year. So I'm just, it's funny because I had finished this EP right before the pandemic hit, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this out real slow, because I've got to pace myself to keep relevant. But then we got to do a lot of writing. It was interesting because, I used to go to Nashville to write, and now I've learned you can write over Zoom, and it's pretty effective and it works actually. So we'll see.
I think that's going to be the norm, isn't it? I think going forward, I think there's going to be a lot of that because everybody's used to it. It's great to have somebody in the room to bounce off, but like a lot of businesses that I am a day job that I deal with, and it's all Zoom meetings, like a Zoom with somebody in London the other day, and they're saying like, we're going to sell our office because we don't need it. We're paying rental on an office that we don't need.
One thing I know is, when we record in Nashville, like they bring all the guys into the room at once, and you can't recreate that. No. That's such a powerful moment. Yeah. But it's tough. You just can't really do that right now. I mean, I think we will be able to in another few months, hopefully. But that's one thing you can't recreate. I guess got the live performance too. So hopefully we get back.
I mean, sometimes I'll cook with my friends. We'll have a beer, but it's like this on Zoom, and it's like you try and have a bit of banter with people, but it doesn't work. But
does your show, do you broadcast it on the radio, but do you also do the Zoom portion, or how does it work?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's recording, and I'll send it over to you, and you do whatever you want to do with it. It's absolutely entirely up to you. And I only ever do that with the artist say so. I've only done it a couple of times, and but I'd never publish anything without you saying it was okay. But I'll send it over to you, and then you can do whatever you want to do with it. But before we finish, I've got to ask you a question. I ask this most of my guests anyway. You've got Mount Rushmore. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now Mount Rushmore has got, is it 4 heads carved into stone?
I should know this. It's 4 or 5. I'm not sure.
It is actually 4. I did say 5, and it is actually 4. Yeah. And if you had a chance to actually replace those heads with people that have inspired you along the way, who would it be? And I don't want it saying all of family, because I think Phil Vassar, he was the first one to ask, and within seconds he went, yeah, it's my wife, my kid. I said, oh, there's no conversation. It's gone. So now I say a mixture between obviously your family and music. So 2 family and 2 outside of family inspirations, including music.
Okay, gotcha. And do they have to be, so the family is easy. Do they have to be people that I know musically or just heroes?
Entirely up to you.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to pick 3 family members because I'll get in trouble if I don't. But I would say my wife, my son Michael, and my daughter Molly. Because I can't, if I leave one of them out, I'll get in trouble later. So.
Okay, that's fair enough. In fact, for you, we'll put a 5th head on. We can just fit it around the corner of the mountain. Yeah. Okay.
I would have to say musically it's Steve Seskin, because he's, although I've been playing for a long time, he's definitely had the biggest impact on my writing and my musicianship, for sure. And then musically, I'll stick with people I know. I mean, I had an early teacher who was my guitar teacher, music teacher for a long time, Ross Adams, and he kind of taught me all about musicianship, how to play, how to sing, got me into writing. And then I would credit my producer too, Matt McClure down in Nashville, for kind of taking my sound over the last few couple of albums. So I know I cheated, I did more, but I figured I'll take people I know. So
no, but it's great.
A lot of songwriters and famous, musicians that I would throw in there, but I figured I'd throw the people in that I know.
I know, and it's great to hear that, because I know a lot of people go for the staple. Oh, it's Merle Haggard, or it was, it's this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And it's great to know because it's pertinent to you. And I like that bit because, without your guitar teacher and without this, you wouldn't probably be where you are now, without Steve pushing you along the way with your songwriting. And ultimately, without your family to drive you as well, you'd need that inspiration. So no, absolutely brilliant. And it's been an absolute pleasure, Richard. I know we've talked about it on a couple of occasions, and it's finally gotten you on the show, and I really appreciate your time. So you're going to finish off with another one.
Sure. If you want me to, I will do it. But yeah, this is actually a song, and thank you so much for letting me be on the show, Paul.
My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure.
This is a song actually that hasn't come out yet. It's coming out next Friday. And it's another
exclusive.
One yes, actually. Another one off my new album. So this one's called Life Is Now. And my wife is a mindfulness teacher. So she's very into all of those types of tools, and I'm terrible at it, but I try. But anyway, try to live in the moment and be present. So this is a song about that. It's called Life Is Now.
Brilliant.
I woke up in a cold sweat, old memories running through my head. Missed chances, failed romances, things I should have done, things I should have said. But hey, you can't press rewind. We only get one take in this life. Every day is a new day, another chance to get it right. Life is now, there's no doubt. Gotta find a way I can make every moment count. Past is there to learn from, not regret. Why worry about the things that haven't even happened yet? Life is now. Gonna stare at a sunset for more than just a minute or two. Gonna shut my phone off, spend a little time, figure out who I am. Gonna go see an old friend, talk less, listen more. Try not to think about what tomorrow holds in store. Life is now, there's no doubt. Gotta find a way I can make every moment count. Past there to learn from, not regret. Why worry about things that haven't even happened yet? Life is now. spend your whole life living without an ounce of gratitude. You can spend your whole life searching for what's right in front of you. Life is now, there's no doubt. Gotta find a way I can make every moment count. Past is there to learn from, not regret. Why worry about the things that haven't even happened yet? Life is now. Life is now. Life is now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Schroder, thank you so much, my friend. You take care. Stay safe and stay well. And we'll catch up one day in the UK or in America and we'll have a beer.
I would love to. Thanks so much for having me on the show, Paul.